Welcome back to the channel. My name is Verbal. Thanks for stopping by. Today, we're going to build ourselves a bit of a mountain cabin getaway. If you've ever traveled into the mountain area for any extended period of time, if you've been mining silver up here, it's good to have a main base of operations for when you are in the mountain. And what I have done today is I have built a cabin which will offer the maximum amount of comfort available at this stage in the game. So let's get right into the build. As always with all of our builds, you're going to want to flatten an area where you're going to want to place your build. Find an ideal location. I found this nice little spot here that kind of overlooks this mountain range, and I've already flattened out the space that I'm going to be using right here. First though, let's take a look at the materials we're going to need to make this log cabin. Now that's just the wood to build the cabin itself. I do have some chests over here that contain items that we're going to be placing in the building. That's just the materials for the building itself. Now, as I've said, I've already flattened out this area, so I have a general idea of where it is that I want to place this. So we're going to start off first with our wood flooring. So go ahead and select our wood flooring 2x2, and we're going to start this right about here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 wide right here. This will be our porch, and then we're going to continue on and we're going to lay the rest of our flooring. We're going to lay out a 4x4 interior space. It should look like that. Next, we're going to put our doorway in so that way we can base where our door is going to be, but we want this door in the center of this 4x4. The best way to do that is we're going to take a wood beam 1 meter. We're going to first find the edge of one of our pieces here. We're going to snap that right there to that edge. And on this block, we're going to snap that there. That should give us a central point location where we can add in our wood gate door. Now, you can have this rotate whichever direction that you want it to be, and does not matter. We're going to put our door right there, and then we're going to delete these pieces right here. Next, we're going to need some core wood. We're going to take our core wood now. We're going to select the log beam 2 meter. We're going to put that right up against the door there. And then we're going to want to basically snap these on top of each other. So you're going to see that it's going to fall right in place. We don't want it to extend out over the edge of our floor here. We want this right here to where it pops up right against that edge. We're going to do that on the other side here. And we're going to build this up 3 times. Now you can alternate where and how this sits, but basically we need to build this up 3 times on both sides. And then on this layer 5 and 6, we're just going to put it out here to the edge. So in a sense, we're creating a little window space. And if you need to build, obviously, ladders in order to get up higher for any of this, by all means, ladders, scaffolding, all of that will be very, very helpful. On the 6th layer, we wanted to snap up against the doorway again. And we also wanted to snap into that spot right there. Now, you may find it easier to snap there on the very outside first and then bring it into the doorway. Whichever ends up working for you best, it's completely up to you. And then we're going to switch over to a log beam 4 meter, and we're going to put 1 there and 1 there. Come back down, switch to the log pole vertical, and we're going to snap this right here up against the top of that 4 meter that we just put in. We're going to put 1 there, and we're going to put 1 here. Now, if you go off to the side of the door frame, you'll be able to get it to snap to place. If you're still having a problem there, if you look down, you should have it snap right into the spot where we need it to go. And that is our front wall. While we're here out front, we might as well finish off the porch and start the roof. So I'm going to grab some more wood. And much like how we determined where to place the center of the door here, we're also going to do the same thing for the steps. So what I'm going to suggest is find out where that block is. We're going to place a 2 meter on the outside of that block, 2 meter on the outside of there. Then we're going to take our wood stairs. We're going to snap those right into place there. You can actually leave those 1 meter boards there. We will actually use those later. At this point, we're going to take our 2 meter pole, and it's going to be best if you can find a spot where you can look almost underneath. Depending on where you're building, if you have the capability that it's already on flat, solid ground, great. You can just put your pole in right there. It'll go straight into the ground if you need to put a pole here. This is just for support for the roofing. If you're finding it difficult to actually snap a 1 meter pole here, one trick that you could do is if you take a wood half wall and snap your wood half wall in place, then you can take your wood pole 2 meter. See how it snaps to the bottom? There, that goes right into the ground, gives you good solid ground contact. Then you can remove that half wall, and that's right where you need it to be. We're gonna do the same on the other side here. Now this one, I can actually look underneath and get it to snap in place. And then we're gonna take 2 2-meter poles and snap those on top of each other here. And then we're going to line our little deck area with a 2-meter horizontal pole. We're going to get this to snap in right here and right there. And that's why we left that 1 meter in place. Put one there. If you're having a problem getting this to snap into the proper spot, come around on the outside. There we go. Now I would suggest building a ladder at this point because we're going to need to get a little bit of height here. And starting with this wood wall, 26 degree, we're going to place one here in this corner. One will go on the other corner. Then we're going to change to the 45 degree wood wall. Put one there, put one there. And then if you want a little extra flourish, a little, accent, some of that Viking design, go ahead and take this wood cross 45, put that up at the top. Fill these spots in with the half wall. And there we have the beginnings of our roof. Well, we're going to select the 26 degree thatch roof. We're going to place one there, and we're going to place one here, and then change to the 45 degree thatch roof. We're going to put one there, one here. And then we're going to finish off the fronts by using the wood beam 26 degree and the wood beam 45 degree. Put that there. That'll go there. Switch over to the 45. Goes on this piece. That goes on that piece. Again, if you want the little bit of a Viking flair, add the wood cross to the very top. On this side here, we're going to take our 2-meter board and we're going to turn that around and snap that to the end of the roofing. We'll do it on same on the other side. And then one other thing that I do like to do just to kind of finish this off completely, we're going to take the 1-meter horizontal board. We're going to rotate these out, and at each of these junction points, we're just going to add one for just a little extra flair look. And that's the front of our cabin. We'll add a railing in later. So if we come around to the side here, what we want to start with is a log beam 4-meter. And that's just going to attach right here. So it'll connect to the front of the house, that front wall we just built, and to the flooring. And you're going to notice that we're going to have a little section left over. So we're just going to add a 2-meter beam. And what I like to do personally is I like to rotate these back and forth. So I will throw the long beam there and then the short beam here. That's going to go up 2 layers. The next 3 layers, we're just going to put in a log beam 2-meter for 3 layers. We're going to create a window here. And we'll do this same on the other side. So I'll have 3 of those there. And then I would suggest building a ladder because we're going to need a little bit of height here. But then we're just going to finish out 2 layers like we were doing before. 4-meter on one side, a 2-meter on the other, 4-meter, 2-meter. And that's one of our walls. We're going to do the same over here on this side. We're going to start off with a 4-meter, go to a 2-meter, 4-meter, 2-meter. We're going to do 3 layers of the 2-meter on both sides. Go ahead and move our ladder. Put up a 4-meter, 2-meter, 2-meter, 4-meter. And there we go. That's 3 walls done. Now we're going to want to put some stairs in here because we're going to take this up to another level. We're going to snap these into the 2 center floor pieces. There's one so we've got 1 piece there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. We're going to snap it here and we're going to snap it there. And that's going to create the basis for our next flooring. But before we get to that back section, we're going to take our 2-meter log beam and we're going to run this all the way up. Just like that. We're going to do that on both sides. Just like that. Next, we're going to take our 2-meter log beam and we're going to place one on either side of the steps, just 2 high, like so. Now we're going to add in our flooring for the next back section. So once again, select your 2x2 wood flooring. We're going to start here at the corner here. We're going to add one here and we're going to add one here. Make sure that it sits on top of the log, not below the log. We don't want this to go below the log. And then we're going to add 1, 2, and there will be actually a 3rd one. So this will be a 4x4 section back here as well. And if you need to, if you can drop down, if you have the ability to drop down, that's great. If you cannot drop down and you're wondering how can you build out, here's a real quick hint. Take a 1-meter horizontal board, snap it to the edge of your 2x2 wood flooring, and then take a wood beam 2-meter, snap that to where it goes out a little bit. And then what you can do is that creates a snapping point then for you to be able to snap another piece of flooring on like so. And then you can delete those pieces. And that's how you can build outwards while still being up on the space. So if you have the ability to get down below your structure, that's great. I would suggest doing so now. If you don't, if you can build some scaffolding, try to build some scaffolding, but we're going to need to get below this particular build. And I can do this for some of it, but I think I'm going to build out some scaffolding, some temporary scaffolding for the moment. So I'm just going to take a wood floor and I'm going to put one there. That gives me a good spot. Okay, so for this, we're going to start with 2-meter log beam. That's going to go there. We're going to add in a log pole 2-meter right here that goes into the ground as support. And then we're going to take our 4-meter. We're going to extend that there. We're actually going to attach another one there because that's where our back section of our building is going to extend out to. Now to offer a little bit of support, what I'm going to suggest is grabbing the log beam 45 degree. And we're going to attach it to this snap point right here between these 2 4-meters, but you're going to want to rotate it around. And if you've got ground underneath of you, if you need to raise the ground or whatever, you want to definitely get ground contact with this beam. When you snap this in place, you want this to be a blue color beam supporting green color beams. That's going to give you the best stability because you're coming out of rock. So if you can drive this piece into rock, that's going to be your best solution right there. And if you're able to get under it from this direction, then what I would suggest is you can throw your floor in here, like so. And then I'm going to throw in a board over here so I can get to this side. And I'm going to select the 2-meter beam to start off with. And then I'm going to grab the 2-meter horizontal. We're going to put that in there for stability. And then I'm going to switch to the 4-meter log pole. I'm going to snap one there. And then the other one is going to go there. That should extend it to the end of that new flooring. And then on the underside here, I'm going to come across. I'm going to snap a 4-meter pole there and a 4-meter pole there. Now, much like I did over on the other side, I want to take a 45-degree log beam. I'm going to snap it right there in between the two 4-meter beams, drive it into the stone to give some extra stability. If you're still worried about a little bit of stability, or if you don't have the stone directly here, you can also add some on the end here. Now, what I would do is I would suggest keep it parallel with your existing log. And then we're going to rotate it in 2 clicks. And then you can do something like that and do that on the other side. And just because I do this more for aesthetics more than anything else, I will actually put a final one that I'll drive in directly back. Just like that. And that'll be all the support that you need. Actually, it's kind of overkill on the support, but I like how it looks personally. And this should be the last time that we need to be out underneath it here. So if you build up any scaffolding at all, you should be able to disassemble that scaffolding. And this is what it should look like as far as flooring goes. So now we just need to build this out. So much like we did on the previous section here, we're going to take a 4-meter log pole, and then we're going to take a 2-meter log pole, and we're going to do that for 2 layers. So again, if you want to rotate that back and forth, and then for 3 layers, we're going to take the 2-meter, we'll stack that up. And then we're going to finish off our top 2 layers here on this back section. And that's that wall. We're going to do the same thing over here on the other side. So we should have 2 walls that look like that. So this back wall is going to be very similar to our front wall. We're going to need to find a center doorway. So we're going to take a 1-meter beam. We're going to snap it to the outside edge of that floor piece, the outside edge of that floor piece. So it leaves us with this here. We're going to take a 2-meter log pole, and we're going to snap these right there on those. And then we're going to delete those 1-meter boards. And then take our 2-meter log beam, and we're going to put one there. And then if you aim it at this vertical board, you should be able to snap a second there, kind of overlap it again. Do that on this side. We're going to do that for 3 layers, both sides. And then for 2 layers, we're just going to put these like this. Then definitely suggest getting up on your ladder. We'll continue up with this 2-meter on both sides. And then we'll take our 4-meter log beam, and the last 2, we're going to add them in the center, like so. We'll then take a 4-meter log pole, and we're going to attach one on that post and one on this post. And that will be there to help support our roof when we get to our roof back here. So there we go. We have all of our walls done. Now we just need to start adding some roof pieces. So make sure you have enough wood on you. And we're going to select the thatch roof 26 degree. And we're going to start over here. We're going to run this all the way down to there. And then we're going to take our 45 degree. We're going to put that on the top of there and here. Now, there's a reason why I haven't done it over here yet. We're actually going to delete this piece and this piece of flooring. Make sure you have your stone cutter bench nearby, because we're going to be adding in our stone hearth. So select the hearth, and you can let it snap into place, but what's going to happen is if you let that snap into place, you can see that it's going to extend out of the wall. So what I like to do is I like to hold down shift, bring it back inside a little bit to where this back edge of the hearth is actually going to be in the wall. And we can actually move this. You can move this around wherever you want it to be, but typically I like it to be right there. And that way, when you look at the side, it doesn't stick out as far. Now, if you don't like it sticking out that far, you can also obviously move it back in. But just realize that it's going to end up cutting into your stairs. You can let it snap completely in place here, and that will definitely keep it within the wall. Or you can just, wherever it snaps in initially, just move it back just so slightly like that. And that should keep it from popping out of this side of the wall if you don't want that exposed. If you don't really care, go ahead and have it sticking out the backside. It's not going to affect how the fire works or how it dissipates. It will be completely fine. Okay, so we're going to build our chimney for our fireplace. So we're going to want to leave 3 open log spots. So 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be these top 2 layers here. And what I'm going to suggest is starting with the log beam 4-meter, and we'll put one in there and one there, and then take our 2-meter beam, and we're just going to connect those right like that. And that'll give us the start of our chimney. Now we're going to want to continue this up till we hit the roof. We're going to put these 2 layers on here, take the log beam 4-meter, add those in there. And then this might have to be done from the outside. You may also need a ladder to do this. So put your ladder down and log beam 2-meter, connect that and that there. At this point, if you want to throw in the thatch roof 26 degree on this side, you absolutely can. And then we're going to take our log beam 4 meter. We're going to put that across the front here. Now we're actually going to want to raise this up about 2 more spots. So we're going to snap a wood log back here. Take our log beam 2 meter. We're going to snap those there. This here. We're going to put the 4 meter going across the front. Switch over to our wood wall 45 degree. We're going to snap this on the far side. And what I'm going to suggest is if you're in this kind of position, go ahead and add the roof pieces in, the thatch roof pieces for this. We'll put one there, one here, and then add in this side. And that'll be it for our chimney. To continue our roof on, we're going to grab the thatch roof eye corner 45 degree angle, and we're going to get that to snap, rotate it in this way to where this piece comes down to here. We're going to get that to snap there. And we're going to put one here on the other side as well. Just like that. And then here in this spacing right here, we're gonna do a little trickery here. First, we're gonna grab the wood wall 26 degree and we're gonna snap this one here. But then we're also gonna take our wood wall 26 degree inverted. We're gonna rotate that around. We're gonna snap that in place as well to give us a very nice flat edge here, because we're gonna add in a thatch roof oak corner 45 degree. And then we're gonna rotate that around to where that'll snap right here like this, right there in that corner. And then we're gonna do the same over here. We're gonna get this to snap into our corner here. If you're having problems with it going into the corner, try putting it up against the other piece of roofing. And then from here, we're going to take a 45 degree thatch roof. We're going to put that in place here and over here. And then take our wood beam 45 degree. We're going to put one of those here and here. And then we're going to put those together. And again, for that Viking flare, definitely add in the 45 degree cross at the very top. So next we're going to take our thatch roof oak corner 45 degree, and we're going to not fall off of our ladder. We'll rotate that around until that will snap right here like that. And we're going to add that on the other side as well. We're going to create a little peak roof there. But we'll finish off this portion of the roof. Take a 45 degree. We're going to put one there. We're going to put one up here on this upper piece. Rotate this around. Place one there and one there. Now, as you can see, this leaves a big open spot on the backside here. So I'm going to suggest, once again, throwing down a ladder. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our log beam 4 meter. We're going to rotate this around. We're going to stack these up on top of each other right here. You may need a taller ladder too. We're going to stack these up on top of each other until it gets to the point where we're not going to be able to stack any higher. So it's going to be about 4 tall because of the fact that it's going to run through the roof. And then take our wood wall 45 degree. We're going to add one there. We're going to add one here. Rotate that around. Place one there and one there. And again, what would it be if we didn't add a little Viking flare with an X cross on the top? So now we're going to start building out our porch, our rear porch roof. So I'm going to suggest grabbing the thatch roof oak corner 45 degree. We're going to rotate this around and get this to snap into this spot that we just built. We'll put one on each side where it makes a little cap there. And then we're going to add a thatch roof 45 degree right here. At this point, you might have to take down your ladder. We're going to add one right there. And again, go back to the thatch roof eye corner. We're going to add that there. Rotate this around. We're going to add that in there. Now, I'm going to suggest, just for stability purposes, adding in the 4 meter pole. But when you do so, you want to snap it to the top corner piece. That way it extends down into those cross braces that we put in place before. And it doesn't end up sticking out of the top of the roof. That'll give this end piece here just the stability that we need. So then go back to the thatch roof 45 degree. We're going to continue this across like so. And that makes the roof for our little porch. Now, if you're worried about falling off of this, let's not do that. Let's take a wood pole 1 meter and we're going to snap that here in the center. Take our log beam 2 meter. We're going to put one on each side of this. We're going to add in another wood pole 1 meter. Now those or you can put those down on those snap points if you'd like. And then we're going to remove this here, and then we're going to just make this a 4 meter on both sides. Rotate this around to this. There we go, 4 meter here, 4 meter there. And then we got a little protection where we can't walk off. Now I do like to kind of trim things up. So we're going to take our wood beam 2 meter here, and we're going to attach this to the end of our roof pieces, going all the way around our little back deck here, I guess you could call it. Just like that. Let's add our front porch railing. We're going to take a 1 meter pole. We're going to add one there. And then we're going to take our 2 meter log beam. We'll put one here, rotate this, put one here, and then attach this other one there so it overlaps. And then we'll do the same on this side. We're going to attach that there and then here so it overlaps. And there we go. We have our front porch railing. Now we're going to add in some awnings for our windows. If you have to build scaffolding for this, please do so. This is going to be very simple. We're going to take a wood beam 2 meter. We're going to attach that at top of the the window here and here. We're then going to take a 26-degree wood beam, and we're going to try to attach this to the log right below it, where it connects to the end. And then we're going to select our thatch roof ridge 45-degree, and we're going to stick that on top. And that's going to give us a nice little... Now, you could use also a 26-degree if you really wanted to. That's completely up to you at this point. However you want to have that, you could use the 45 or you could use the 26. Both look absolutely fine. I prefer the 45 though. It just gives it a little bit more of a stark contrast to the window there. And in order to reach this window over here, I'm going to put a little board here for scaffolding. If I can do this one. Again, we're taking a wood beam. We're attaching it to the top of the window on both sides. 26-degree wood beam. You can either attach that to the end or you can attach it to the log right here below where it'll snap in properly. And then that 45-degree or 26-degree if you prefer thatch roof. And then you can remove your scaffolding and we go to the other side. And there we go. This is basically your hut. Now, I mentioned about making it the most efficient comfort hut that there is. There was a change at some point in time to the comfort levels of what would add comfort, what doesn't stack, what does stack. I thought that I had a good formula where I could get a 16 comfort level, which gave you a rested buff of a lot of minutes. Apparently that doesn't work anymore. So I've been able to maximize not only having a full working workbench and a full working forge, I've been able to maximize the comfort level based upon what you have available at this point in the game in order to get these where they need to be. So we're going to start with adding in our bed first, because obviously we need a bed. So I suggest placing your bed right here near the fire, put you as close as possible to the fire right there. And then your interior workbench, because I do have some exterior workbenches that have been keeping us going. You're going to put your interior workbench right here. Now, again, you're going to need all the appropriate pieces for all of this stuff. So then I'm going to suggest taking your forge. You're going to put the forge a little bit in the doorway, and there's a reasoning for doing this. So we're going to stick it about here right now. And then take the parts for your bellows, your forge bellows. Your bellows is going to go as far back. See, once it starts clipping into the wall, it turns red, or at least on the back end of it. Can't rotate it this way because it's got to point towards your forge. So we're going to take this against this corner here, and we're going to push this back as far as we can before it turns red. It's going to be right about there. Then I'm going to suggest disassembling your forge and moving this then closer, as close as you possibly can to your bellows. And then if you check it, we should be at level 2 right now because it's connected to the bellows. Now that we've got both of these workbenches in place, we're going to concentrate on each one individually. So this is where I'm going to suggest that you place your item. For the workbench, for the tool shelf, we're going to put the tool shelf on this wall here. And that should then be linked to your workbench. For the adds, what I'm going to suggest doing, start off with building yourself a ladder because we're going to need it. Then I'm going to suggest taking this wood floor one by one, and we're going to put 2 of these right here. And while we're already up here with this, we're going to stick this one over here in the corner, right here above your bellows, right about there, because we're going to need that later. Then take your adds, that's the ADZE, and we're going to place this on these 2 right there. That's close enough to be connected to your workbench, and that will give you the proper upgrade. On this little one over here, we're going to take the anvils, the small anvils, and we're just going to place them wherever it is that they turn green on that shelf right there. I think you should be able to remove that. Now take the forge tool rack for your forge, and we're going to rotate that around, and we're going to place it right here above the door a little bit. You don't want to go too far. Like I was hoping I could get it above the door. That would have been awesome, but we're just going to take this right wherever it's going to let us basically stick it on this piece of core wood. So we're going to go right there with that. Now we should be at level 4 for the forge and currently level 3 for the workbench. Outside here, we're going to take our chopping block and we're going to stick it over here in this corner, and then our tanning rack, we're going to rotate this slightly and stick it in this corner, far back as it'll let us go before it starts turning red. That should give us a level 5 workbench, I believe it is. Yes, there we go. Level 5 workbench. And then on this side, we're going to take our forge cooler, this right here, and we're going to put this over here, right wherever it'll turn green for us, right there. And then our sharpening stone or grinding wheel, that will go here, and that should give us a level 6 bench. Yes, there we go. Level 6 bench. The last thing that we need for the forge in order to get it up to that max level 7 for this particular area is we need the smith's anvil. So we're going to select the smith's anvil, and where I suggest putting that, like you can put it here right behind it, or you can put it on this side of the doorway. It doesn't really matter where you end up sticking that smithing anvil. It just needs to be in one of the places in order to give you that maximum level for your forge, which should be now level 7. Okay, so now that we have all of our workbench items in place, let's start increasing the comfort level within our building. So first thing I'm going to suggest doing is building the Raven Throne. We're going to stick the Raven Throne right here in the corner. If you notice, we have no comfort level right now. Let's stoke a fire. Okay, we have a full fire. We have a comfort level of 5. Our goal is 12. So we're gonna take the Raven's Throne. We're gonna put the Raven's Throne right here in the corner. That takes us up to comfort level 8. Underneath of the Raven Throne, I'm going to suggest putting a wolf pelt. You should have killed at least a couple wolves at this point, hopefully. So I'm going to suggest sticking a wolf pelt. We're just going to stick that right there. That gives us a comfort level of 9. The rugs don't stack anymore. You used to be able to put one of each type of rug down and it would give you 1 point of comfort across the board for each one. Now, when you do that, it doesn't do anything. I still like having, just for look wise, a deerskin rug over here on this side. Normally stick it in between, either under my bed or in between the workbench and the bed there. It's not going to add any comfort level whatsoever. The other thing that you can build, you should have iron nails at this point if we're in the mountains. You can build a armor stand and we can put that right here. That takes us up to comfort level 10. And it just so happens that I've got the perfect armor to be displayed here in our little mountain cottage. It's the wolf armor, of course. So that takes us up to comfort level of 10. We can add in a table, and the table that you should have available at this point in the game should just be the fine table. I don't think we've got tar at this point in time. So we're going to take the fine table. We're going to stick the fine table here in the corner. Push that back as far as we can. That gives us comfort level of 11. And then I'm also going to suggest grabbing a chair. And we can put a chair right next to it. And that still has us a comfort level 11. So apparently the chair didn't do squat. Utility wise, I would say definitely throw a portal in. If you're going to throw a portal in, you could throw your portal in right here in front of this window. It's a great spot for this. And then you can have your portal linked to wherever it is that you need to go. I'm going to unlink this portal real quick just so it's not so noisy. But you can stick your portal here. If you want to put a chest in here for storage purposes, I would suggest, if I was putting a chest in, I would put a reinforced chest in. It gives it much more storage space. As far as our fire goes, we can add in a couple of the cooking stations. But before we add in the cooking station, I would suggest adding in your cauldron. So we'll put a cauldron there. We'll add a couple of the cooking stations here. I like to kind of maximize my space with my cooking stations. If you have the materials to craft it together, if we can attach a spice rack here at the ceiling, that'll increase your cauldron. And then additionally, you should also have the butcher's block at this point. Get some silver up here in the mountains, and you should be able to have a butcher's block. And we can take this butcher's block and actually stick this butcher's block here in this corner. And that will give us a level 3 cauldron. And then what is the last point in order to raise up our comfort to 12? Well, we need to add in some banners. Actually, one banner will do it, but I like, adding in banners wherever I can. So I'm going to put 2 in here. That gives us our comfort level of 12. If you want to add in more banners for aesthetic purposes, I mean, by all means, you can do that. They're not needed. Just the one banner is needed. That gets you to a comfort level of 12, gives you 19 minutes of rested buff. And that is a lot of time of rested buff that you can have wandering around a mountainside. Plus, this also gives you a great view. If you've got a great view of your mountain, this is a particularly interesting mountain range where it surrounds a black forest. I'm sorry, it surrounds a black forest and a meadow, it looks like, but it's a huge mountain range that just kind of wraps around this one area. So this gives it a very nice view to have at this point. But there we go. That is the build. That is our mountain cabin. One last thing that you can do if you want to, it's not going to do anything at all as far as your comfort level goes. But if you want to add these sitting logs out front, now just pay attention to how you rotate them. The little curve on the back is where your back is going to go. If the cutout goes all the way down the front of the log, that's where your legs go. You can put 2 of these right out front here, and that way you can sit at your cabin in the mountains. And if you want just some fun stuff, you can add in a vertical item stand. And just because there's so much of a pain in the butt in this area, we're going to mount ourselves a wolf head at the top of this. So there we go. That is our mountain cabin with a comfort level of 12. Hope you enjoyed this build. I hope you had fun with it. It wasn't a long build at all, but it definitely helps you out when you're in that mountain range and you're looking for that silver or trying to escape the wolves for that matter, or the Fenris. But thank you so much for joining me for this. If you like this kind of build, you want to see more of this kind of stuff, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click that little bell. You'll get notifications of when I post videos. videos. I'm always looking for suggestions of what to build next, so definitely leave me some ideas down in the comments below if you've got a particular thing. I've done an entire video based upon a viewer's suggestion for a new build. So your suggestion could become my next build video. Even if you don't have a suggestion, throw a comment in there, throw an emoji. It's all about the engagement. Let's be honest. It helps the channel grow, it helps the channel get pushed out to more people so more of you can see this kind of stuff. I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stop on by, hang out, say hi, see what we're up to. Let me know you came from the YouTube channel. I love to know where my viewers come from, where they find me from. But once again, thank you so much for your time in watching this video. Thank you for stopping by. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you next time.